All righty, here's the dealio. That is, guys, the 2024 Patron Member Meetup and Ride event. It is, we usually host one every year. For our patron members, it is sanctioned. It is by us. We organize it and all that kind of stuff. We are riding the coattails of one Russell Roberts, patron member, longtime patron member. Probably heard his name before, from Tennessee, because they were going to have one anyways, and they had already started organizing. And then we decided our East Coast trip, which is going to be 12 days. We go on a large ride each year as a group, the Sworn Few Motorcycle Club and guys here at Law-Abiding Biker Media. And we found out that they were doing one. So we're like, hey, we don't want to interrupt theirs since they're already planning. And on top of it, I know Russell Roberts is going to put on a great event. So he is in charge of it. And I did a video on it. We also did a podcast. That's all the podcast is about. It's real short. Give you all the information. Or you can just go over to lawabidingbiker.com/2024 meetup. That's /2024 meetup. No spaces, no dashes. That'll take you to the page where all the information is listed there on the requirements and what you need to do to sign up. There are certain ways you have to do that and be vetted as a member and all that. Also the video, I did a YouTube video and it is embedded on that page. So again, /2424 meetup. Get over there. There is a deadline to get signed up. You don't want to miss out. It is going to be a large event, and we're so appreciative of Russell Roberts taking that on. And yes, we will be on the East Coast, guys, for our large East Coast trip. And after the event, we're going to be riding all over the East Coast. But it is scheduled for Saturday, June 8th, 2024. Again, there is a sign-up deadline and some requirements you need to meet. One of them is becoming a member. And again, it's all over on that page if you want to become a member going into 2024. There is no better time to become a member because you'll definitely want to be a part of this event. And I dare say it's going to be the largest patron member ride and meetup event to date. All right, here is the dealio on this, guys. You know, you're out riding, Lurch, for years. I dealt with it. You know, I didn't want to admit it. I thought about reaching out to a group similar to like AA, Alcohol Anonymous, but I looked and I researched for BA, Balls Anonymous.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where this was going.
And I could not find a Balls Anonymous group. Because I really want to just walk in and go, hi, my name is Ryan Erlacher, and I've got sweaty balls. Welcome, friends. Hi,
Ryan.
Yeah, hi, Ryan. Welcome, friend. We're not making fun of those groups, by the way. They're great groups. But I do, so I wanted to start a BA group. But there isn't one, and I lacked time to do it. But I did want to solve my sweaty ball problem because I figured if I solved my sweaty ball problem, I would not need to seek a Balls Anonymous group because I wouldn't have a problem anymore. So we did just that. When riding, guys, you can get a little moist down in the nether region.
A little funky.
A little funky. The old taint can sweat. The balls can drip down on the taint. It's not a great situation. And then that, 12 days on the East Coast, we're going to be riding. That can lead to chafing when your skin's moist for too long. You can get foot rot. You can get ball rot.
Oh, goodness. Nobody wants that.
Sounds horrible.
That does not sound good.
Well, we've got a solution for your ball rot. And that is fresh balls, guys. And we highly recommend it because we ourselves use it. We've tested it. Yes. If you can envision me grabbing my sack, pulling it up, rubbing cream all over it. Imagine Lurch doing that. Those are good visuals. There's no other way we can test this. So we tested it obviously during the summer rides on our adventure rides, and we liked it so much we decided, okay, yeah, we're going to recommend it. You can get it over at lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-balls. That's /fresh-balls. That is not a joke. You click through, you purchase, we do get a small commission, and we do recommend it. It is very nice. It's I might add that when you're putting it on, it gives a coolness to your balls. Now, I will tell you that I'm a full-time motorcycle officer, and in the summer, it's well over 100 degrees a lot here, or in the 90s. There's a lot of sweatage, a lot of ball rot going on, and I put it on daily, so I've really tested it. And I'll tell you what, my whole attitude about life was just better every day. You know, people I met even said, Ryan, there's just something different about you. And I looked them in the eyes. I said, that's because I've got fresh balls. You don't believe me?
No, I do believe you, actually.
Lurch likes the rampage and the commercials that I do because he doesn't know what's coming, and I don't script any of these. This is not scripted, is it, Lurch?
No, not at all. No.
Lurch he's like, where are you going with this?
The story and how you get to that is always an original for each reading.
Okay. So guys, but it's legit, all jokes aside. So dry, keep your growing area fresh and dry all day and in between showers, guys. Designed for men to deal with chafing, irritation, and hygienic problems that moisture and sweat. Again, I'll just define that as ball rot in the man regions below the belt. Yep. Step away from messy powders, guys. This cream is really nice. It applies quick, a drying lotion with a silky smooth, cooling, talc-free powder finish to help absorb wetness and keep your best parts dry. I basically say it's like deodorant for your nutsack. It's kind of that. It actually does. I thought it just kept you I didn't think it through. But yeah, it literally keeps your balls from sweating. That's what it does. It won't clump on your skin and leave powdery residue in your pants. It is very clean. You don't even notice that you had it on after the day. Formulated with premium ingredients, tapioca, starch, helps absorb sweat and moisture, oat kernel extract, and aloe to soothe, moisturize and decrease the sweaty, sticky, and smelly feeling. Isn't aluminium free or some shit too?
It is.
That's not in there.
There's no parabens either. It says right there, your last bullet says right there, free from talc, parabens, and aluminium.
And if you care, this was not tested on animals, just humans. Do they need to put that in there? I like it. I guess I've never really not purchased a product. I don't give a shit who you test it on as long as it works. You can test it on an animal or human or both.
Some people care.
Speaking of, we're very thorough here at Law Abiding Biker Media. Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me that we've tested this on ourselves. We have not tested this on Louie's baby nuts.
Well,
he is an animal. He's a Bichon. He's the studio dog. He does have mini nuts.
I don't know about that.
But he gets them sweaty too, dude. Lou gets sweaty, they're miniature nuts.
I'm not going to be part of this.
Well, dude, I clean his butt with dude wipes, wet wipes. So why not just add a little cream to his little mini nuts?
Because if you're going to do an empirical study, if you're doing an empirical study, you're going to need to take some type of measurement of the odor with and without fresh balls. And I don't want any part of
you can be the
measuring
odor part.
The odor. Nope, exactly. That's why I want no part of this. None whatsoever.
Dude, we can just apply it to his mini nuts with a Q-tip.
No, thanks.
All right. Lou, I guess Lurch says you're not going to have fresh dog nuts. So if you can't complain anymore if he stinks or anything like that, dude, because you will not allow him any fresh balls. And then we could actually tell them, we can email the company. It actually has been tested on animals now.
No.
All right, guys, this is going way too long.
Yeah,
lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-balls. Legit, guys, for traveling and anytime you're riding long distance or the heat, it's amazing stuff. And I will not go riding without it. There you go. Don't forget, guys, holiday season, Christmas can get expensive. And we know that. And so some time ago, we brought a deal to our store to help you out. And that is Shop Pay Installments. We integrated it right in the Law Abiding Biker store. So it's Christmas. You got some gifts. You're like, I've got the money for this, but not till next month because I got to buy for this person, this person, this person. Well, just like a lot of stores online, we too have it. And you can basically buy it now, get the gift, get what you need, get it out. And you can know and have confidence in your mind that you're going to be good because you can make 4 equal payments interest-free on top of it, guys. No interest. So by next month, when you recover from the crazy Christmas season, the expenses that are involved with that, knowing that right in the law-abiding biker store, shop, pay installments, get those motorcycle products, get them out. There's no better present to your biker friends than something from the law-abiding biker store. And so that is available to all of you.
I got mail.
Lurch.
Yay! I got mail. Yay!
You can handle this.
So this email is a recent one from Michael Cuomo, and here's his message. Hello, Ryan and Lurch. Hoping you guys can help me out with a problem I'm having with Ride Planner. I used it a handful of times, but I recently had an issue sending my ride to the GTS. So he's talking about creating his ride on his phone or whatever, and then sending it through the GTS.
On a computer.
And then sending it via his phone to the GTS.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah. So it says, I got an error saying that I needed to update my software to be able to send the ride to my bike, which I did. Software version, and at the time of this podcast, it was M23.22.27.00. I did confirm in my settings that it was updated, but I'm still getting an error. So here's my response. First, and he donated, which is massively appreciated. And
thank you.
And I really appreciate this donation because I didn't have much of an answer for him at the time.
Okay.
But he came back, and that's why I'm putting this in there, because every once in a while we don't have all the answers, and I really appreciate when somebody that's contacted us gets back with us and provides us something they learned, so that we can then in turn share it with the law-abiding biker community,
which we're doing right here.
So I said, first of all, thanks for the donations, much appreciated. This is a new one for us. My research didn't turn up a definitive answer. What I suggest is you set the GTS unit back to factory and then update it again with the latest software version. For whatever reason, this tends to solve many software-related problems. And Mike came back with, thank you for getting back to me. I tried resetting everything and started from scratch, but I still had the same problem. After some digging around on Harley's website, I found that they offer free navigation updates. Not full updates, but I assume some kind of a patch. After doing this update, I was able to send maps to my bike again, and they provided a link. So if you're having some problems with that, I'll put a link in the show note, and maybe you can try one of the little mini updates, and it might.
Interesting, because
that's separate from just the software updates. This is a navigation only update through the Navi Extras.
So yeah, looking at it, this is new to me. I hadn't seen this. I hadn't seen this email, but looking at the URL. So yeah, so it's some sort of just, I don't have all the information here, but just knowing computers and stuff and software update. So it's through Navi Extras, and Navi Extras, you have to buy the maps. If you want to update like North America, it's like $150. We have videos on that, guys, on how to do all that over at lawabidingbiker.com/Harley Boombox. You got to purchase them, and there is a process you have to go through to update them. And that's the actual map. And so this is some sort of, because they partnered with Navi and they do part of the software for that, it appears that Navi is making some patches on Harley's behalf. So yeah, good information.
Yeah, I just clicked through the link that he provided, and there is a update for the boom. So it's similar to what they do for their the boombox overall. They've got these little updates. So if you're having a problem,
how complicated though,
and I,
you know what I mean?
That's new to us, this one.
Yeah.
So if you're having some issues out there, you can go through I'll put the link in the show notes, but if you're not getting it to upload your map and you're getting that error, go on over to the Navi Extras, get their little update, and you should be fine.
Not consumer friendly. No. Because now you've got boombox updates. That'd be like Apple making an iPhone and saying, hey, we're going to do an iPhone update, but hey, all your apps, you're going to have to go to each company and find their portal for an update for that app to work on our phone. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Again, I tell you guys, I'm harsh on both Harley and Indian. The Ride Command is a horrible experience, and the boombox in a lot of ways has been horrible over the years. The newer one's better, but this is just another example. But I'm appreciative of the information because Harley isn't going to tell you any of this. And you're going to have to dig, and now you don't have to dig. So yeah, so within Navi Extras, we're going to have to look at it, and maybe I'll actually do it just so we can go through that process.
Absolutely.
It's just another software update, but how ridiculous.
Yeah.
I had to dog on, that's a dumb process, but thank you, Michael, for actually taking the time, to do that. So, and sending us the contact and the donation. lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he did that. We love voicemails too. You can leave a voicemail for free, built-in microphone on your computer or phone, and we can play it. But if you want to leave an email, that's fine too. You can do it on the same contact page. Anything else on that, Lurch?
No.
Suppose we have a podcast to do here.
We should get to that.
Yeah, we got a good one for you guys. But I want to say one thing, a couple things. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle and majority, the big MM, also known as the
99%.
That's right. Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. It's what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We have one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
Today's episode is going to be all about the new 2024 Indian motorcycle lineup, because they did just about a month ago. We're a little behind the curve, but we're one of the only YouTube channels that has a podcast. And so some things we save for specifically for the podcast. So it doesn't sound like we are going to be doing a video on this. But there's a fair amount of stuff to talk about. Looking at the show notes here, I will preface this by saying Lurch is the one that completely, I didn't have time to do this one. So Lurch researched this heavily and really put things in order to make sense. So it's going to be an education for me today. So Lurch is going to do a lot of talking, which I know a lot of you are like, good, we don't have to listen to Ryan for a whole hour again. We actually get to listen to Lurch for once. More than Ryan, we'll see, because I do interrupt a lot. I do interrupt a lot. So anyways, he's going to steer the ship, but I do have a lot of questions about the 2024 models. I have not looked at them, and I haven't watched one video on it. And so it'll be interesting to kind of see what they have to offer. Speaking of Indian, I still, back in September of 2023, this year, at the time of this recording, I got sent a Indian Dark Horse Pursuit with premium package. Still sitting in the law-abiding biker shop right now, and it's winter, December, but I did ride it as of a couple of weeks ago, and it's a nice sunny day today. Had we not been podcasting, I may have ridden it, even though it's in the 40s. That's unseasonably warm for us in December here. Usually it's well below freezing. It is at nights, but nonetheless, we've got the Indian. We've got some experience. I did do a complete review video. It got a lot of hits on the Law Abiding Biker YouTube channel. If you want to know about it, if you're at all curious, even if you're a staunch Harley person, I strongly suggest you go watch it. Always keep your eyes and ears open. I know some guys get super brand loyal, and that's fine, but there always can be a point where something gets good enough that you change your mind. I'm not saying that's the case here or not. That's a very your perspective. But at least what I don't like is when people talk schmack about something because they just refuse to even learn about it. So here's an example. And it's just, it's a lot of non-tech people. And so I've had some conversations, and I'm very techie. Obviously I run this business for 11 years. You have to be very techie to do that. I do our own website, everything. So I will hear, and it's fine. I've educated myself on both sides, and I'm not going to make this into a different episodes, but iPhone, Android, right? Get what you get. I don't give a crap. But please don't come to me, and because I'll get guys, I go, why are you running that still, or whatever, whether you like Android or not. I don't care. You do you. But they'll say, well, because I go, what is it about the iPhone? Tell me about it. What does the Android do that you do that the iPhone doesn't, or that the iPhone doesn't do better? Or this could be vice versa too, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have an answer. And that's just because they haven't educated. I'll actually go watch. The day Android provides for me a better experience, then I'm not completely loyal. But I don't see that at this point. And that's based on educating myself on how I use it, what I do, the business, what we need to do, cameras, specs, how it does it. I need things to work. So with that said, that's what I'm saying. So I get a lot of people like that. And I'm like, okay, you clearly have no clue. You just haven't even tried anything else because you're just stuck on, and that's fine.
It's what you have and it's what you like. Right. And you almost have to defend your decision.
I know. And I hate that because I call people on it. And they're
you
like,
called me specific, not to get into an Android Apple thing.
No, it wasn't supposed to be about that.
No, but I do recall, my brother and I both had Androids. And you're like, why do you guys have it? And I remember trying to come up with some kind of reason why. And you're like,
hey, you're honest.
Well, it doesn't. And then I switched over and
I said, yours does that. Well, watch this, how fast this does it.
Yeah.
It loads like 10 times. Yeah. So, but yeah, at least you were willing to, but this is true. It's a true
Ford,
statement.
Chevy, Android,
you just want to
Apple,
support.
whatever.
Well, I bought it because, it's got to be the best. I spent a lot of money on it. Yeah, I got it.
It must be the best.
Yeah. So I've learned that over time, and I'm not perfect at it, but I try to keep an open mind about and don't limit yourself and your knowledge. So be open and check that video out. I love it. I'm riding the bejesus out of it. It's got pros and cons, just like Harley's have pros and cons, guys. Yeah. It's going to, again, just like same with the iPhone, Android, you got to decide like what's your needs and what's going to work best for you.
Are your feet staying warm in the cool weather?
So that's one thing. Yes. Not extremely warm, not the toes, but so there's some things, that's one nice thing about having a bike long-term. I've briefly mentioned a few of these things on some other podcasts. They weren't necessarily about that topic, but I mentioned them up front. But a couple things about the Indian Pursuit and having it longer term is I wish I could have all bikes this long, because you do an initial review. Let's say you've got it a couple of weeks. I did my initial view, got the video out because that's all we thought we were going to have it. Had I known that I was going to have it 3 months, I probably would have been longer, held off before I put my review out. But we do what we can with the time and what's given to us. But now that I've had it for the winter, there's some unique things that cold weather riding bring up that I wasn't aware of with this bike. First off, I'll say, if you're an honest Indian owner and you're not, like I just said, you don't just defend to defend because you think it has to be the best because you spent your money on it. This is a con. It's not something that can't be overcome, but be aware of it. And that is, it's got stock bars on it. I rode in 30-degree weather for the first time, and I went out with what I ride my Harley Street Glide on with regular like summer gloves. Because on that bike, on my Street Glide Special, stock bars, heated grips, hands are behind the fairing, and I can pretty much get away unless it's even below 30. Then I'll have to wear bigger gloves, but I can get away with it and it's fine. I thought I was going to lose my fingers and frostbite on the Indian. And that was one ride and I was like, holy shit. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but the way that fairing, and then I'll let you finish off because I know you got some thoughts. The way that fairing is and the way those bars sit, it was not thought out well to me because you get no wind protection at all. And you will lose a finger or two to frostbite if you try to, and it's got heated grips. I don't care how much you turn them on. The problem is there's no protection for your fist and your grip, your hand grip over the grips, so to speak. And so they are out in the elements. And even though it looks like they're a little bit behind the fairing, the way the wind is routed, everything is on your hands and you will freeze to death. And so the next couple times I rode it in the very cold weather, I resorted, which I'm not a fan of at all. I had to resort to my huge Burton snowboard gloves. And can you do that? Yes. It's not ideal. It's hard to manipulate the clutch and brake and controls. I hate it, but I do it because I'm not willing to lose fingers. Lurch?
Yeah, that is a con of the shark nose fairing, whether it's on a Indian or a Harley. You just don't have the protection for the front of your hands, your knuckles and your fingertips and whatnot. Whereas the batwing fairing, be it Indian or Harley, gives you much more protection. I recently added handguards to my bike, and that made a big difference because I have a 2015 Road Glide, for those of you that aren't aware, and I have 13-inch bars, so I'm even up a little bit higher. And my hands with heated grips, still the fingers get cold because that wind's hitting the front of your hand and cooling it off. So those hand guards, if you've got a bike where your hands are more exposed, that's a economical way to give yourself some protection. Some hand guards, there's several brands that make them that look good, and
Lurch
that'll help a little bit.
He'll put it in the show notes for you. He'll put an affiliate link to the ones he uses. They're super affordable, plastic, and they offer a lot of protection. So yeah, that is it's just a point. And so that I said in my review, that frickin' motor puts out, and I've been confirmed by multiple other YouTubers that are honest, although I was one of the only ones that said it on video, is that puts out a lot of heat to the point that it's uncomfortable a bit on the inside of your feet, especially during the summer. I didn't really notice. It's definitely better in the winter because all the cold air is going past your feet, and so they're not as warm, but they're still a significant amount of heat. But it actually, when you stop at an intersection, kind of feels nice because the heat, that motor puts out a lot of heat and it comes up through your groin. So for the summer, con. For the winter, good for the Indian Pursuit. If you're going to ride in freezing weather, it definitely puts out a bit more heat and you can feel it at the intersection and stuff. But definitely that motor puts out a lot of heat. I wore the shoes I reviewed recently. And in the winter, in cold weather, the Icon Patrol 2 boots, and we'll put an affiliate link to those guys. We also did a video on that. Love those shoes. Wearing them daily on my police motorcycle duties. And also I've worn them in over 100 degrees and I'm wearing them down into the 30s, and even with no lower protection. Well, I shouldn't say that. The Indian has lower protection and you can close the vents. My Street Glide doesn't, but I'm fine on that too, even in the winter. They're just a great all around. And so, yeah, with the lowers, definitely, because it's got the premium package, and I think the Pursuit comes with that anyways. But yeah, definitely you get with the lowers, you definitely get some better protection from the colder elements and just overall better protection. If you close down all the vents up in the fairing on the Indian, close the lower vents, and all that kind of stuff, you'll definitely get some good cold weather protection from the Indian Pursuit. Lastly, I want to mention, that ride command, guys, and I've said it on multiple podcasts, please don't be those people, like I just mentioned, that just defend something because you can't say anything bad. I am a Harley owner. I hold multiple. I will tell you a lot of shit about that. Okay. I'll tell you the good stuff and the bad stuff, and I'm going to tell you the same about Indian. Please don't defend the ride command system.
It's got its glitches too.
Oh, it's got tons, if not more than the boombox.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I've had it long term. I said on my video, it had glitches. It has map issues. So does the boombox, guys. Don't get mad. Yes, the boombox does too. A lot of guys get mad about this. The ride command does too. And unless you're just turning it on and listening to the local radio, it works fine. But if you're going to get into it at all, and yes, I have the latest update with the firmware. Don't give me that. A lot of guys, you aren't up. Yes, I am. Okay. It sucks. It doesn't connect with Apple CarPlay all the time. Then I have to reconnect. Boombox has done that too. Even the new Boombox does that. The headset constantly stops pairing with it, and then Apple CarPlay. Then I have to reconnect, dump my headset, reconnect it via Bluetooth. Then everything works. The maps aren't integrated very well. Me and Lurch noticed, and Lurch got burned by it. It's so stupid because you'll be listening to your music at a reasonable level, and then you'll turn the bike in, go in, get a coffee. You come back out, and it immediately fires your music back up, but like at 3 times the volume, and you can't turn it down for 30 seconds because it's still booting up, and people are staring at you like next to an old lady, and they're looking at me. I can't turn it. I go, turn your music down.
I can't.
I was laughing, dude, because I forgot to tell you about that. It's got a plethora of glitches. Indian, it is time to retire the ride command system and either come up with a completely revamped version like Harley Davidson did with their new on their CVOs, and we hope that's eventually
Skyline or something like that.
Skyline OS operates it, but they don't have a name. It's just, they don't have like the boombox infotainment.
Gotcha.
It's just called infotainment system operated by Skyline OS. But their new system, granted, I have not had time to really dig into that system.
We will in the future.
We're working on it.
Yep. Hopefully
with our Harley rep. We've asked
a month or two, hopefully.
Yep. Multiple times. We want to get that for a deeper dive and see if it really, how much better, if any, it is.
If it's not, we'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely tell you, as you can hear here. That's just how we run our channel. And that's why a lot of people come to us, because they know we aren't biased like that. But the ride command system needs to be retired. It's old. It's clunky. It needs a refresh. So does the boombox, but it's got it on the CVOs, and we hope that's coming to the regular Harley models. But hopefully it works better. Anyways, Yeah, there's just the more I spend with the ride command, the more irritated I am by it. Every time I turn the bike off, the heated seat goes off. And then the heated grips stay on where you set them. But every time you turn the bike off, the heated seat goes off. And so every time you boot the bike back up and you got to go into the dang ride command, you got to turn your heated seat back on. So it's just little things like that it's just not very refined. But again, Harley and Indian can go neck to neck on who made the crappier unit. So there you go. Again, motorcycle companies trying to become software developers and make stereo hardware or at least be involved in integrating it into their bikes. It has not been so good. With that said, I'll say auto manufacturers aren't that much better and that far behind. They've just had more time to do it, but their internal operating systems are horrible too. That's why if a manufacturer can just make CarPlay work and make it work every time, then I don't need the rest of your system. Just make CarPlay work for me and I'll hook my phone up, and I don't want to use your stupid software and your clunky system and all your menus. It's very PC, Android-esque software of having to dive into 13 menus to get to a setting. It's just not thought out well. The UIs are horrible. Just give me Apple CarPlay. And for all you Android guys, I'm sure you would just prefer just give me Android Auto and I'll just deal with that. So that's it. Anything else on? We just wanted to give you an Indian Pursuit update, but love the bike. And again, I'm only telling you about some of the new things I've learned that I don't like, but I also said I like it in cold weather because motor does put out a lot of heat, but it's got a ton of great things going for it. And we're not going to do this episode about that. It's on a video. If you want to learn a true review with nothing held back on pros and cons, that's the video you want to watch. And it's over on the YouTube channel, and Lurch will link to it in the show notes. So we are going to have an open discussion on the 2024 motorcycle lineup, but Lurch wants to mention a new free video. It's been out for some time, got a shitload of views.
Yeah, this is the title of it is "This Went Down at Laidlaw's Harley Davidson Dealership," and the link will be in the show notes there. One of the fellow YouTubers owns a Matt Laidlaw his family owns Laidlaw's, and we got to finally go in and hang out with him a little bit, and we take you into the dealership, and you can find out what went down. Just click on the link in the show notes for this episode.
There you go, guys. And it was actually during our Death Valley motorcycle trip, but I did a one-off video on it. It's also in the documentary film when that comes out. It's not an edit yet. That's the next one to go in because we just released a new doc film over at lawabidingbiker.com/ride-now. Brand new doc over there. Check it out. The Road to Brotherhood when we went back to Minnesota. All right. So we love our sponsors, up front, and we definitely, Butt Buffer, Rick Rack, Ciro, all longtime sponsors of the show. Love all their products. That's why we brought each of them to the Law Abiding Biker store. We love their products so much. Not only do they sponsor us, but we have their products in our store. So head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our Butt Buffer, Rick Rack, and Ciro product, guys. These folks we want to thank are also a direct reason and sponsors of this episode. And they're some of our newest patron members who are just hopefully loving all the benefits they get for becoming a member.
We'd like to thank William Bodwell of Hera, Oklahoma's top tier, Rob Blair of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and Troy Dillard of Dixon, Tennessee. If
you guys want to get signed up, please head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. All right, guys, basically you pledge a certain amount per piece of content that we put out. There is no risk to you. The reason is you can put a monthly cap on how much you're willing to spend in patronage, all right? There are a plethora of benefits for signing up, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is blowing up. It is a troll-free zone. Nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. There is no dumb question, and I can attest that there are people in there that know more about motorcycles than us, all right? Especially mechanical stuff. And they answer questions all the time in there. Or you have an experience and you're like, I don't know what to do. You're not going to get it from some crappy forums. Those stupid forums are just dead to me out on the internet. All these forums, they used to be a big thing, but they suck because you don't know who's answering you, and there's a lot of snippety people and people that think they're higher than thou. You will not get that. We wouldn't allow it. And we don't even have to monitor it because we just know the quality of people you're signing up for the right reasons when you're signing up as a patron member. So that private Facebook group is not only a forum, but group rides and meeting people in your area and whatnot. So access to private live video broadcasts and chat, podcasts early, premium videos up on request, and of course, access to those ride meetup events like coming up in 2024, guys. Those are a bunch of the stuff going on and the benefits you get over if you become a patron member. And we would love to have you part of the community. It's continuing to grow, and we're ramping it up as usual in 2024. Oh, if you didn't know, guys, another benefit is you get podcasts early. So if you're listening to this as a regular podcast listener, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you're listening, our patron members, mid-level and above, got this long before you, because within days of recording these, if they're not live, if they're live, you get them right away. If they're not live, within a couple days, we upload the audio into the back end of your patron account, and you get to listen to it. It's a little more raw. It's not quite as edited because we just want to get it going and get it to you. And you guys are members, so you understand that it's a little bit less refined, but pretty close. And you'll get it in the back end of your patron accounts. So make sure that you guys have the Patron app on your phones, and you can get it on a computer too. But that way you can always be checking your patron account, because there'll be stuff unlocked that nobody else can get based on your level of membership.
Ooh, unlocked.
You have the secret key. That's right. With that said, thank you so much for the new patron members. We're going to dive in here, and Lurch, you take it over from here.
Absolutely.
And we'll see where we go.
While I'm doing this first little bit, will you pull up the web page and get to the FTR family there? So we're going to talk about the 24 model lineup for Indian motorcycles. I just want to say up front that the FTR, the Scout, the Springfield, and the Chief pretty much are only getting paint and graphic updates. Not huge updates, but we're going to still go through them and look at them, talk about them.
Which ones? Hang on.
So
I can get educated here.
So those ones, that's the FTRs.
Okay.
There. So the FTR, the Scout.
Where's the Scout?
Scroll on down.
Even farther.
Scout. Yeah, Scout. And Springfield, just keep scrolling down.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the baggers, I believe. And then the Chief, they're pretty much just color updates.
Okay.
We'll still go through and talk about some of them anyways and look at them.
There it is.
So starting with the FTR family in particular, that'll be the first ones there. They're similar to Harley, and they break down their bikes into different categories. So Indian has what they call the standard group, which would be the FTR. And then they have the cruisers, which are Scouts, and then Scout and Chief. And then they have Bagger, which has a Super Chief, the Challenger, and then the touring, we got the Roadmaster and the Inner Pursuit. And then this year they're actually breaking the elites out into their own categories. Okay. So we'll kind of walk our way through those different main categories that have bikes underneath them. So in the FTR in particular, they call it the FTR family. You've got the FTR base model starting at 13.5, and then they go all the way up to if you can scroll up just a little bit there. No, the other way.
Down, you mean then?
No, that's not what I meant. They got the FTR Carbon at 17.2, and then they got some special ones that we're going to talk about. So what I found really interesting is if you look at the 2024 lineup, and if you scroll down to that rally bike, look at it says 2023 FTR Rally. Mm-hmm. This is a 24 model lineup. What the hell is that? That is weird. Isn't that weird? So is it? I don't understand that. Is it? I assume it's did they not sell them all? So they're bringing them over 24. Did they not? I mean, you can't call it a 24 if it's a 23. You're going to see this in a couple spots.
Okay.
I don't know if this is just a website screw up.
I think so.
Or
I think
something
so.
Like they just copied it over somebody and didn't change it to 2024. It's really strange. And that's not the only place you see it. So in 2024, they've got the 2023 rally.
Okay. I'm confused. All right. But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking little bike.
That is neat. So if it's almost like a scrambler, what you call a scrambler, right? So the FTR is their smaller bike. It's to compare it loosely to Harley, it'd be the Sportster line, right? Sport. They've changed theirs to Sport as well. So it's the smaller entry level bikes. This one, they've set it up so it's a little bit more of it's not an adventure bike by any means.
Right.
But it's got knobby tires.
It's like a production scrambler.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. It's a really neat looking bike. You got the knobbier tires. You got the solo, the solo shock there and everything. It's a neat looking bike. I like the look of it.
Yeah, looks fun.
But going back out to the main page there, the FTR Carbon is kind of the top line, if you will, of their FTRs. And if you can click into that one.
You want to click into it?
Yeah. They're very sporty looking bikes.
Yes, they are.
Bronze colored front shocks. The bike. This one in particular is black and red, and it's got a little blue on it. They've got red highlighted wheels. The exhaust is, the header's exposed. It's very performance looking, very sporty
bike.
Yeah,
sport bike without all the plastic and fairings.
Right,
a
very
lot, right?
Down
a little. I mean, somewhat. I'm just trying to describe it the best we can.
Yeah, it would directly line up with like the Harley Sport lineup. But what's different with this Carbon is instead of having the plastic and metal body parts, it has carbon body parts, so a little bit lighter.
Yeah, it looks very similar to which. Speaking of Harley Davidson, is for years we had leaks on the Bronx Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, good call.
And it's very much, if you ever saw the Bronx, which a lot of people are upset about, that Harley, we didn't know whether it was a leak or whether it's true or, but they never came, as of to date, it has never come to fruition, the Bronx. And so it's kind of looks like what Harley had in mind when they were thinking about the Bronx. I don't know off the top of my head that there's anything Harley makes in this line that I could say is a direct comparison. You know what I mean? Like we can compare the Pursuit to a Road Glide, right? Like they're pretty much direct comparisons to this, unless you can think of something. Can you? Where we could directly compare it? It's just, I want Harley to make a bike similar to this. Can you, Lurch? I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
Let's go to their sport.
I would go to the sport.
I mean,
lineup.
You can't. There's nothing that's directly, these are just different. The Harleys, I'm looking at the Nightsters, they just sit back far. The FTR is a very unique, it's the bike that people wanted Harley to make, the Bronx Street Fighter. So I don't know that there's anything Harley offers that would be a direct comparison to this.
I think that's fair.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good call with the Bronx. I mean, it's the best one I could think of was a sport lineup, but I agree with you that it's most likely more like the Bronx Street Fighter. Which,
I mean, maybe we can go a Fat Bob. I mean, a Fat Bob would be. I'm stretching here, guys. Yeah. I think that would be the only, and it's not a direct comparison, but the only thing Clace that has any sort of the look, but still the FTR sits up and forward more. Definitely the Fat Bob is still more cruiser-esque. These FTRs are a much more aggressive, high sport bikey rider position. That's all I can say, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, we can't make a direct comparison, but there you go. I at least wanted to stretch it.
That's about, it is a stretch, but it's a really neat looking bike.
It really is.
I love the looks of them. You got some different options. Like I said, you got the regular FTR starting at 3.5, then you go all the way up to the FTR Carbon, where you're getting quite a bit of upgrades in suspension. That comes with the Ohlins suspension and all that kind of stuff on it.
Yeah. I'm hoping still, guys, my fingers are crossed that that's not dead. We've heard a lot of different rumors on it, like it wasn't cost effective and it's not a big enough market. And I don't know. But I'm hopeful that I mean, they're making, look, Lurch. I mean, in this lineup of all these similar bikes, 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 1 to 23. So let's say at least 4 of these bikes, and Harley's not competing at all in this category.
And that's something we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because I have thank you for bringing it up. But there's something that I watched several videos preparing for this, and I watched a launch that Brand Amp, the company that does PR for Indian, put on. And they talk about that, and they talk about the smaller bikes and trying to attract a younger audience to get them in there. So I will read that quote when we get to it. But
and I know Harley's doing it too, but they're doing it in the form of the Nightster and the Sportster. That's their entry level, younger generation. And I guess this is Indian's answer. And Indian doesn't really have any direct comparison that I know of, Lurch, to like the Nightsters. So, you know what I mean? They have the Nightster category. Indian has the standard. That's their entry level, younger, but they don't have anything like the Sportster S. Indian doesn't, that I know of, unless I could be wrong. Cause you educated yourself more than me, but I'm just scrolling through the bikes and I'm not I mean, you could do the Scout Bobber maybe a little bit. I mean, if you're looking looks, but you're 16, yeah, and we're not even breaking down specs. Please, guys,
No.
don't beat us up. We're just rifling through some of the stuff. We're not.
This is just an overview of it.
Right.
This would be a really super long podcast if we got into every spec on every bike. This is more of us looking at them. What's the new colors? What's
bikers
going on?
talking to me, learning right now like that. Like, what is Harley comparing? You know, I'm doing some loose, like looking at the websites here. So is that a fair statement? I think basically, like I said, entry level, new rider, new generation. Harley comes at it from their Nightster lineup. Indian comes at it throwing their FTR lineup at it. Is that fair?
Exactly. And depending on, and I was a young man once, but it's been a while. When I was,
you were never young.
When I was younger,
bastard.
When I was younger, I'd be much more attracted to this bike. I mean, I started out on crotch rockets.
You did.
And so looking at this bike, I would assume that this FTR would appeal to a younger rider.
It appeals to me, and I mean, I would love to have one of these. I want that FTR carbon, but you're right. It's not going to, I'm just a child at heart. So I know a lot of our demographic, it wouldn't appeal to them, right?
Probably, yes. 100%. Right. So, and this is just an overall view. Again, we're not getting all the specs, but if you look at the FTR Sport and the FTR R carbon, as you move up there, there's certain things you get, you start getting, trim treatments, like with the Sport, you're getting colored wheels, and better suspension. Same thing with the carbon. Now you're getting all the carbon parts. You're getting the Ohlins suspension,
lighter bike,
yeah,
faster,
exactly.
Yeah.
So they all have the same motor, from what I can tell. The 1203 cc motor. So,
okay,
it all
liquid cooled, right?
Let
me look at it.
Yeah, you can look at that. I think it is.
I think they all are.
Yeah.
I think all Indians, except the old Thunderstroke, some of them still have the Thunderstroke, which was air cooled, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they have a 3D? Let's see. I think they do. How do I get it? I need to spin this bike around. I know some guys are.
Yeah, there's a radiator.
Okay. Yeah. Some guys are telling me right now, of course it's water cooled. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Yeah, there it is. I can see it's a pretty big ass radiator.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah,
they did a good job of hiding it, actually.
Yeah, it's up higher.
It's up high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still there. All right. Yep. There you go. Good looking bike. I would love to test ride and review that FTR. Yep.
Oh, Indian. Would like to.
Yep. Indian needs to, we'll talk, actually save that till the end. What we think Indian can do better at. Yeah.
I have a note at the very end to talk
or
about.
brand, their third party company.
Talk about this event and the release and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, just wrap it up.
Roger.
So in 2023, there was let me find it here, FTR Championship Edition, which is not available in 2024. But there is for 2024 a new FTR, and it's called the FTR X 100% R Carbon.
Jeez, it's quite a name.
It's quite a name.
What kind of bike is that? Well, sir, it's the FTR X 100% R Carbon. All righty then.
So
sounds legit.
There's already the FTR R Carbon, and now this is the X 100%. And 100% might sound strange to you. Like, what the hell is that? I had to look it up.
Okay.
I didn't know
that
who
was
they
my
were.
next question.
I didn't know who they were, and I'm sure a lot of people know them. But they make goggles primarily, and like tear-offs. They're well known for their goggles. They also make other sports apparel.
For like motocross?
Motocross, not just for
snowmobile.
Snowboarding. They make helmets for snowmobiling and bicycling and skiing and all kinds of stuff. So that's the company that Indian partnered up to make this X 100% R Carbon.
My question was going to be, what is it? 100% of carbon?
Yeah,
but that's the company.
It's
that's
the company.
So weird.
Yeah, I was like, that's really strange. That's a weird name.
That is a weird name for a company. Yeah.
And so your FTR R Carbon is 17.2, and the 100% one is 18.9, and it comes with some different treatments.
You can see the little chin scoop too. None of the others have that. Oh, the FTR Sport does, but the Carbon doesn't. But this Carbon one has the little chin spoiler.
Yeah, so they brought over design people from 100% and worked with Indian.
Looking bike, bro.
It is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's sexy.
They did some. So with that one, it is a limited edition. There's only going to be 400 worldwide.
Oh, no shit.
And being that there's only 400 worldwide, what I've learned about it is that doesn't mean 400 in the U.S. It's 400 worldwide. And we'll talk about numbers a little bit later, but they probably are going to hold out at least 100 for the rest of the world. So maybe
Okay.
only 300 or so in the U.S. So it is going to be a limited edition bike. If a limited edition and having something unique is something that appeals to you, well, there's an option right there.
Yeah.
They have the blue carbon fiber parts on it. It comes with Ohlins suspension, and this is an exhaust company I hadn't heard from before. Maybe they're a little bit more into the street section of motorcycling, but it's called Akrapovic exhaust.
Akrapovic?
Akrapovic.
Oh, crotch.
Akrapovic.
Akrapovic. Okay.
Akrapovic.
Gotcha.
So you're getting some different.
Sounds
upgrades in
Italian?
there.
Does it sound Italian?
No, that's more
it's
like that sounds like Eastern European.
Look them up.
like
Now
that.
I got to know.
Okay, Google it.
What is it? Spell it.
It's Akrapovic.
Oh, Akrapovic. I don't know why I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Akrapovic Company. Is that it?
Yeah, that's.
It's got the symbols over
That's what I'm
it.
saying. It's definitely European.
Yeah, it's European. Yeah. Let's see. There
World
it is.
champion winning exhaust systems.
Ooh. Well, let's see. We're loading.
Loading.
I'm accepting your cookies. Hopefully they're chocolate chip is my favorite. Let's see if they say where they're from. Did you see anything?
I haven't seen any like about us
I
or any of
know.
that kind of stuff.
Does it say down here?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Slovenia.
Slovenia. Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Probably more. Look at all their exhausts. It's very street bike-ish, sports bike-ish. All right.
European inspired.
We solved the mystery. I hope that's helpful. I hope your day's better because of that. Now you know where Akrapovic is from.
So this is one of the few.
You didn't hear me say Akrapovic.
I heard you. I heard you. I can't listen, man. I can't respond.
You got to just try to move on.
I can't respond to every juvenile thing that you say, or we'd never get through this podcast.
Good. No doubt, dude.
But that is one of, in my opinion, actually, we'll talk about it. But that is, I think, the only new bike, and it's in a special edition. It's not
The only
really
new bike in the FTR lineup.
in Indians lineup.
Wow.
For the most part.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But when I'm comparing 23 to 24, that's the only one I saw, and it's not even really new. It's a replacement. It's still an FTR. It's just a
few little tweaks and a company name behind it. Wow.
Versus what they had before.
Not a lot of innovation going on right now.
What did they call that other one? The FTR Championship Edition, which is another special edition of the FTR. So not 100%.
A lot of paint and striping and okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Absolutely.
No, I meant with the updates.
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
Indian, it sounds like
It's mostly
cosmetic type.
There's a couple more things that they rolled out in this event.
Okay.
And one of the things I do want to mention, we kind of got off track a little bit earlier.
No.
But yeah, when we're talking about the fact that the FTR, the Scout, Springfield, and the Chief primarily just got graphics and paint changes. They did come out with a red color. They've got a sunset red metallic and a sunset red smoke. So you can pull up any of those and find that. We can talk about that color a little bit and see what you think about it. Grab a Scout.
Okay.
You need the Scouts here.
Grab a Scout. Right.
Yeah.
How about this one right there?
Sure.
The Scout 60. Let's do it. Oh, I like this one, the Scout Bobber. That's always been one of my favorites.
We'll have to find one that has that as a color option. There's your smoke.
Okay.
So there's your color. If you scroll down a little bit, we can see the different colors.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What do you want me to pick?
Find the reds.
Red.
There's your red sunset smoke.
It's a denim, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a denim color.
It's a denim. It's a dull denim, yeah.
Yeah, and then they've got just the red itself, which may not be on that model.
Okay.
Unless it's the very top. Try that top color there. It's hard for me to
It says
tell.
black.
Oh, black. Okay.
Let's go back.
I'm mildly colorblind.
Let me click on it.
Guys.
You think this has it?
Oh, maybe.
The Scout 60?
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm just guessing
You
here.
just got to find one that's got the
Nope.
red there. But it's a new color.
Let's try just the Scout
Yeah, it's a new color. There you go.
red.
There it is. No.
Mardon, that's maroon metallic.
Oh, we're looking for sunset red.
I think you're full of
metallic.
shit.
I am not.
Ooh.
Is that it?
There's a red button.
There it is. That's it. That's the sunset red metallic. So that's a new color for Indian this year.
Interesting.
It's a good looking color. Obviously, we're looking at it on the website. It's a rendition of it.
And you don't have natural light.
Right.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell paints, but it looks pretty sexy.
In my preparation, watching some of the video from their release that they did about a month ago, Brand Amp and Indian did that.
Where did they do this release?
Okay, that was...
Sorry, if you want to say it to the end, go ahead. I'm just asking questions. If you want,
no, absolutely.
You're guiding the ship here.
Oh, we can go.
I'm going to ask it if you want to throw it to the end. That's
It was
fine
in Costa Mesa, California, a little over a month ago.
All right.
Yeah. And so they
Interesting.
had it in the California
Surprised
Sun.
they didn't have any. I'm surprised they didn't have any huge Harley Davidson channels to get their bikes in front of Harley guys. Interesting.
You're jumping ahead of my
Sorry.
show notes.
I'm just mentioning it. I don't even know what your show notes are.
Well, let's talk about it.
No, we'll talk about the end.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it because it felt good.
It just felt
and
good.
It felt right.
So in that California Sun, that red, particularly the metallic red, really caught the eye. It's a good looking color. I don't, but it's one of the main changes that Indian had for 2024.
Yeah. And speaking of that, it's not a huge year for Indian. It's looking like, and we're not done with this episode, but I will tell you, clearly not a lot of innovation right now, but that doesn't mean they're not working on stuff for the following year. And Harley has these years too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of years where most of the bikes just get, paint and colors and graphics. And then, they'll have one, new bike, and we don't know what Harley's doing this coming year. It'll be exciting to see. But yeah, to compete in this place right now, my gut tells me Indian probably should have came out with one new mic dropper, at least one.
Well, that's one of them.
That's not a mic dropper though. You know what I mean?
I know.
I mean a new, innovative, anyways, that's just my opinion.
We'll
a little bit of a stale year here in 2024 for Indian.
When we get into baggers and tours, and then we can talk about a few little changes they made to.
And don't get me wrong, Harley's had those stale years too.
Here's the thing about that is it takes so much time to design, to test and tool and create new models that it seems like, and this is just based on my watching Harley Davidson, it takes about 5 years before there's a major change. It's about every 5 years, give or take a little bit, because there's a lot that goes into making those different bikes. And a lot of times strategic plans, what you're focusing on, those are usually 5-year plans. And so it takes about that much time.
Your iPhone 18 is already, they're working on it. People it takes them like 5 years, and they know way ahead of time because it takes a long time to dial that all in. So like you say, tooling, machining.
So the fact there's not a whole lot of changes for Indian this year, we're not shitting on them. It's just a fact.
Right. Yeah, it's just a fact. Yeah. Yeah.
So next, moving into the Cruiser family, moving to the Scouts. Again, not a lot's changed on the Scouts. There's no models that I can find that came or went. There's just some different color options on them as we were looking through, finding, there's that metallic red on some, there's a smoke on some. But here's something that I kind of grabbed onto when I was watching that launch video, and I missed his name. Whoever was recording it missed the guy's name, but he's one of Indian and/or Brand Amps folks, running the release. And here's what he had to say.
Moderating it.
Mm-hmm. He says, according to Indian, and he's referring to 2023, has been an interesting year. It's a turbulent industry right now. You've probably seen earning reports from our brand and some of the other competitors in the space.
Harley Davidson.
We just talked about that recently with Harley.
We just popped a video. If you guys haven't seen that, it was Q3 reports. That video got a ton of hits, and it's very good information. So head over to the YouTube channel and check out our Harley Q3 reports.
And in that, we talked about it's not just Harley that's having some of these challenges. Jochen Zeit said the same thing. It's a challenging time right now in the motorcycle space. But moving on, here's what he said. We're navigating that really well. What's been cool to see for Indian specifically is our market share performance. A couple of weeks ago, so this would be about 6 weeks ago, we had market share leadership in the mid-size category. That is our Scout lineup. For the first time, that is really cool to see. Leading with the Scout lineup, we're going to focus on other lineups here today. He's talking about these other bikes, but that continues to be a great performer for our brand. And that's bringing people into Indian motorcycle family. And over time, they're graduating into our other vehicles. So playing the long game there is working out nicely for us, and it's good to see the response. So they're saying that in that mid-size market, in the Scout market, as of this time, they had their first ever time where they were leading the market share. Okay. So I wonder, I bring that up, and that's why I kind of sidetracked you a little bit there earlier when we were talking about the FTRs and the Scouts and bringing in new riders. It sounds like something based on what they're saying is they're doing well at the moment.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Per them. I mean, Harley does the same kind of stuff too. They're going to spin it the way they need to spin it to keep investors happy and whatnot. But very interesting. Let's do this real quick. Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has the products you dream about. for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation equals less time installing and more time riding, bikeaholics. Zero 3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service, and that's absolutely true. Got a question? Get in touch with them. Email sales@zero3d.com. Give them a call. 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged. So check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Always building out the store, the Law Abiding Biker store. Don't forget, guys, we're always adding Zero products. If you don't see a Zero product that you know exists, we can get it for you. And we appreciate your support of our store, of course. And you can just hit us up over at the store contact form. Let us know what you want. We will get it to you. Lickety split.
That's quick.
Splitty.
That's
Lickety
quick.
split. And that's quick if you don't know the definition straight from the dictionary. We'll get it to you lickety split. And obviously you're helping support our efforts here to help educate, entertain, and inspire bikers worldwide. What's next, Lurch?
Well, next is the Chief family, where you have the Chief Dark Horse.
Chief of what? All right.
The Sport Chief, the Chief Bobber, and the Chief Bobber Dark Horse. Not a whole lot's changed here. Again, just some trim and color. But as we have them up and we're looking at them, I really did I move to? Sorry, did we go past Scout already?
No, you did Scout. You just got done with Scout.
All right, sorry. Okay.
Then I went into the commercial ad spot.
Well, then backing up just a little bit to the Scouts. I really like that Scout Bobber as well. But I also think that Scout Rogue is a good looking bike too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rogue is a good looking bike. It's really it's pretty much the Bobber, right? With the fairing.
A different fairing.
With the Sons of Anarchy fairing.
And taller bars on it.
Taller bars.
I like that Rogue Scout Rogue 60 right there.
That's good looking too.
Yeah, that's a Sons of Anarchy looking. You got taller bars on it. Good looking bike.
Yeah. I like them.
Yep. And now moving into the Chief.
All right. Moving back into the Chief. Chief of what? Sorry.
Chief of Operations. Whatever, I don't know.
At least you had an answer. I'm going to keep asking it until you have an answer.
I do like the looks of these Chiefs. I think you get a little more, I don't know if retro or nostalgic is right. You know, in my mind when I look at them, they're really similar, the Chiefs to the Scouts, but you got a little more of an old school look to them. So you got long stretch tanks on the Scouts, right? Whereas you got more of a peanut tank look on the Chief. You have more of the frame exposed,
more of a Sportster, if you will.
More of what Sportsters used to look like.
Yeah,
right?
older Sportsters.
The older Sportsters. So Indian does have a really good variety when it comes to those smaller, mid-sized bikes.
They do, yeah.
We did an article on the Sport Chief, and
when it first came out, right?
Yeah, and compared it to
Lowrider S.
Lowrider S in particular, yeah. And that was episode 333 of the podcast. If you want to go back and listen to that,
and we did a video on YouTube on it too.
And we did a video on YouTube.
I got a ton of hits.
Yep. And that's next to my show notes.
Oh, nice. Not anymore.
Yeah. So there's a link to the show notes. You click on that and watch it too.
I like you leading like this. Now you see what I have to do, which is fine. Yeah, you'll be like, you said that. Now save that further. You got to change the show, didn't you? Because you don't know what your guest is going to say. So this is fun. Yeah. You just got to change shit around.
Yeah, absolutely. The challenge is then remembering, did we already talk
Correct.
About that,
totally. I love this. We're going to do this more often.
I like when you're like, you didn't follow the show notes.
Exactly.
Now you know why. Because sometimes, so when we write the notes, just a little behind the scenes stuff, depending on who wrote it, you or me, when you write it, you've got a flow to it. And it's the way your brain thinks or whatever. And then
it's your plan how the episode's going to go.
Which obviously they never do.
Right.
But especially if you get free flowing a little bit like this, then naturally you're going to say, obviously, well, we got a video on that.
Yep.
That was in the notes. But so it's kind
of, and a lot of times I said, we're going to talk about that at the end, then we don't.
Yeah, then we don't.
Because it gets screwed up.
Right. So we do our best to too. The notes are just for us to make sure we get all the facts, but sometimes we have fun and we get a little off topic, as you all know.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, about the Super Chief family, I'm just totally effing with you.
No,
I scrolled down as far as I could on the show notes to show you.
You're such a dick.
All right, go ahead, dude. It's fun being the co-host today. All right, back.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Ask me.
I personally find the Scout and the Chief to be pretty similar. The Scouts it's got bigger. Most of them have, a couple of them have longer fenders on them. They seem a little more stretched out.
Yep.
They've got wider front tires and all that. But all considered, I think they're similar bikes. I mean, do you prefer the more modern, stretched look of the Scout, or do you like the classic, more peanut style frame exposed?
I think if I was going to spend $20,000, well, see, and that's the thing. So the Scouts are a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Than the Chiefs. So it's hard to say. If money wasn't an issue, so we can keep this simple, I would go for the Sport Chief. Because I like that peanut tank. I like it's the Lowrider S look, and I like the Harley Lowrider S.
It's got the Thunderstroke 116 air cooled.
Yes. I think it's more my style, but that's me.
Yeah, me too. I think that's more of again, I don't know if you want to call it retro or classic style, but I like the peanut tank look. I like the exposed
and that's probably because I like the Sportster model.
Yeah.
I like that lineup, the older Sportster model from Harley. So maybe that's why I'm drawn to it.
And you got an big air cooled bike
there you
motor
go.
on it. It just
no big radiator sticking out the front.
We've talked about in the past, and it's just what we prefer, and everybody's different. Some people like that long, sleek, you don't see anything kind of bike. I like to see the mechanics. I know you do too.
Yeah.
And so looking at these,
I agree.
These Chiefs, you get a more of an exposed motor and frame and everything. It's just a more mechanical, classic looking bike.
Yeah, the bobbers, there's motors that they kind of look like motors, but they're that weird modern where it's weird how that motor, I've always said that. It's kind of all integrated. There's not a lot of mechanicals, like you say, going off. So maybe that's why, I'm immediately drawn to the Chiefs. And, not having that radiator up front is a huge deal as far as aesthetics of these bikes.
Yeah.
I'm all screwed up here.
Yeah, the Scout's got the air-cooled motor. You don't see a whole lot of the raw mechanics of it like you do
right
on the Chiefs. And you got more more horsepower on the Chiefs.
Well, but are you sure? Because did you look that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because those are water cooled, these Scouts, and so they probably, because they're water cooled, have a higher
It's a
horsepower.
lot bigger motor.
Okay.
In the Chiefs.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I just wanted to make sure that because so you can have
I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Water cooled, you can have a smaller motor and have more horsepower
Sure.
because it's water. Okay. I just want to make sure we were correct on those facts, that it has more horsepower. So now you're not. Okay.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to put out wrong information.
The problem is,
It is a bigger motor, but that does not mean.
okay. Well, it's got a shit ton more torque. The problem is they put the horsepower for the motor for the Scout. They don't put the horsepower for the motor for the Chiefs. And so, without having to dig deep into that.
So don't take us for that.
All that.
You decide. You can look up your specs on which has more horsepower. We don't actually know for sure.
It's got over 50 more pounds of torque, that 116 Thunderstroke. So,
we're guessing. Yes.
Yeah, they could have more horsepower. Regardless,
Don't hang us if we're wrong.
I want the big torque motor, the big V twin. That's just my preferred bike.
I agree.
Okie dokie. The Super Chief, nothing's changed there. Again, it's not even probably worth talking a whole lot about that. They got two bikes. They got the Super Chief and the Super Chief Limited. It would more loosely compare it to probably like not a Road King. Yeah, more like a Road King.
Which one?
Or the Super Chief and the Super Chief Limited. If you scroll down just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe not even the Road King. I'm having the Heritage. That's more like a Heritage right there.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
Again, not much to change there. Then you got the Springfield, which I think is a really cool bike. The Indian Springfield itself, it's got the one they're showing here anyways on the website. It's got a two-tone, like a brown and a cream. and big fender skirt on the front. It's kind of like it's very throwback, old school, nostalgic Indian. You know what you think of when you think of like old Indian with those big old front skirts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The flared in the back fender, or the front fender, the rear of it flared. Yeah.
Then
very Indian-esque.
Right. And then you compare the Indian Springfield Dark Horse. Now that's a much more modern look. Solid color, doesn't have the two-tone.
It's a Road King.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's what I was going to get to. That's right. A Road King right there. It's styled similar to a Road King, right? It's got much thinner wheel and lower profile tire, thinner,
apes.
Smaller front fender. It's got the apes, got the big headlight nacelle that's darker in color and all that. And that I like the look
nacelle.
of that. Nacelle.
Nacelle.
I can call it what I want. Potato.
Just had to call you out. I don't know. I'm just calling you out because I feel like it.
Yeah.
It's nacelle.
And then moving on.
What a dork.
Moving on. You got the Chieftain.
All right. We're not moving on.
No? You got something?
You know what? Well, no, I see one thing here on this Indian Springfield Dark Horse.
I thought I had to move us on because you were going off the rails being juvenile.
No. So looking at this bike, overall, I really like the looks of it. But like we say, you know, they like to cover up a lot of this stuff. But specifically looking at the seat here. Now, I know, you know, for stock, it looks decently comfortable. But I guarantee if you rode this bike any amount of time, you would need a butt buffer seat cushion, just like on the Harleys too. You want to ride longer, Lurch?
Yeah.
Treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike those gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around in your seat.
My butt leaks.
You got me with the leakage, dude. That's next level. I don't even do that. You just took it next level, bro. The butt leaks. What? All right. No, what we don't want is the butt buffer. We don't want these pads to leak.
Oh,
is what they were saying. They're unlike gel pads, so it will leak if punctured. That was great. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around in your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps to dampen those gall-darn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Longtime sponsor. Definitely, guys, regardless of what bike you get, the Indian or the Harley, if you're going to ride these things long distance, the stock seats suck. And even my it's not an aftermarket, but it's a Harley hammock. It's the pressure points. And no matter how soft a seat you get, sometimes seats are too soft too. You're going to get pressure points. And so to minimize the pressure points, you know, on those long days, I'm telling you, I could not leave home without my butt buffer. All right, moving on.
Louis just put his claws into my side.
That's
jumped up on me and said, "Hey, pay attention."
Yeah, exactly. That's his way to get attention
over here.
Don't hurt, Lurch.
Moving into the touring family. Not a whole lot to report here other than trim and paint color changes, but you got the Chieftain, which would compare to the Harley Street Glide, and then you got the Challenger, which would compare to the Road Glide. Again, not a whole lot of changes there, just pretty much trim and paint.
Yep.
So here is, let's not do that one. So this is interesting. So they've got the Indian Challenger Elite here in their Challenger section.
Yeah.
Their website, but then now they also have a separate Elite section down below. So we're going to hold off on the Challenger until we get to the Elite section.
I'd say they need to work on their site a little bit here. It's interesting for such a big company.
And you're going to find something weird at the very bottom here when we get into the Elites.
Is it porn?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
All right.
And then you've got the Roadmaster, which would be like your Ultras. That comes with the Batwing fairing, if you will. Again, not a whole lot's changed there. Then you got the Pursuit. The Indian Pursuit has the shark nose fairing on it. They have a Indian Pursuit Dark Horse, and they have the Indian Pursuit Limited. There is no Indian Pursuit Dark Horse with premium package in 2024. It was an option in 2023, but there is another bike that they released here. So no, that's 2023. Anyways, okay, disregard. They got rid of that. They have the Pursuit Dark Horse and the Pursuit Limited.
So to get all the goodies, you can't just do the premium package. You got to just go for the limited.
No, there's actually another one.
Oh.
This is why it's kind of weird.
Okay.
So these are
No, we're sifting through this for sure.
Oh yeah. So for 2024, when it comes to the Indian Pursuit, if you look at the Pursuit family, they've got the Indian Dark Horse, the Indian Pursuit Dark Horse, and the Indian Pursuit Limited. But in the Elite category, they've got 3 bikes, and you're going to see something strange again here.
Okay.
But before we get to that,
Oh no, I was just getting ready. Yeah,
I thought you were getting ready to do the commercial. Look at the Elite series. Scroll on down, and you're going to see something weird again.
23.
23.
Indian Pursuit Elite.
Yeah.
Okay. And 20 through Chieftain Elite.
Right.
I don't get it.
And during the event that they did in California about a month ago, they unleashed the Indian Challenger Elite as a new bike, although they had it last year too.
Okay.
But this year it's got a pretty neat paint scheme on it. It's more like a CVO level paint scheme.
Okay.
They've got
Which Harley does this too.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Just FYI, guys, it's paint.
Yeah, Harley released a whole section or a whole group of bikes with just some new paint on. That's all they did. So it's not just unique to Indian, but really cool paint job on that one. They've got a pinstripe on there that's kind of it's like an acid etched or something where they put acid over and make a crazy design in that gray. It's kind of hard to tell on the website, but you see that silver trim. It's got a acid touch to it. So real neat. And that bike also comes with something that's new for this year. It's called the Power Band package. And we'll get a little bit deeper into it, but basically upgraded audio.
Okay. Oh, Power Band. I was thinking motor.
No,
but it's
audio.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I wouldn't have guessed that. So the name. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of strange again in this Elite series. You got the 2023 Indian Pursuit Elite and the 2023 Chieftain Elite.
So just to verify, we're confirming the bike we have in the shop right now that they sent us, the Indian Dark Horse Pursuit Elite, or not
with
Pursuit with premium package is not available.
No. It's
okay.
not.
All right. Interesting. Wonder why? Because that was a popular bike, and that's the one they pushed a lot. That bike got sent to a lot of reviewers. So it's interesting that they didn't do it. So you'd have to go with I don't know what you would go with.
I would say you'd go with the Indian Challenger Elite.
Yeah, that's what you'd have to do.
Sorry, not the Indian Challenger, the Indian Pursuit Elite.
You'd have to go with the Elite all the way.
You got the Dark Horse, you got the Elite. The Dark Horse with the premium package was Dark Horse with some of the add-ons. So it just depends on, they don't have that middle bike anymore.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. All right. What are we doing next here?
I'm looking up this 20.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and stop your paint.
Slap your bird.
Yes, since we're talking about Indian guys, we also make a Rick Rack systems and bags for Indians, guys. That's right on your luggage rack. So we've got them for Hardys and Indians. So check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special you can't find anywhere else. Yep. And these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. And yes, we do sell a lot of the Rick Racks to Indian owners. Of course, a lot to Harley owners. But don't forget that, guys. It is an awesome system regardless of which brand you are currently riding.
So I pulled up the 23 model lineup while we're talking, just so I can speak a little more intelligently about it. But they did have the Indian Pursuit Dark Horse with premium package in. They had the Dark Horse, which is the blacked out version, right?
And then the chrome.
And then they had what they call the Indian Pursuit Limited with premium package. So the with premium package doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
It's either the Dark Horse Limited or the Elite.
Okay.
So they eliminated that for whatever reason. Probably just too many options.
Models.
They're trying to get it down to, a more reasonable number.
The thing
of
is,
models.
the premium package was almost Elite, minus a couple things that it was the Elite. So it had all the tech and, the lean technology and all that. I remember doing this review in my review video, and I talked about that. And then you could move to the chrome model,
which is the limited.
Yeah. So it was basically the same bike, but it was chrome trim. And they pretty much had everything. And then when you moved to the Elite, it was just some paint and graphics that it had extra. Other than that, it was the same bike. So it makes sense to me that if you're, dump a model and then either get the Elite if you want all the tech and then grab some extra paint with it and stuff. But the premium package was just a little bit cheaper than going full Elite, but it was a weird in between. I get
Yeah.
why a company would axe
From
that.
a manufacturing standpoint,
Yes.
that's just one more you have to make, and it probably costs more. And
If somebody's going to
streamline
spend
your process.
34 grand, they're going to spend on the premium, they're going to spend 35, 36 on the, on the Elite, in my humble opinion. IMHO,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
BT dub,
So going back, so
FYI.
that's the whole. Okay, you dork.
ROLF,
So that is the
ROFL.
Would you stop it? Oh, so again, just looking at the Elite grouping, that's weird that they got 2023
LOL.
in there. Is that a screw up? Is it they just bringing them over? Did they have too
Yeah.
many? I don't know. I reached out to our contacts through the company that
Yeah.
does the PR
Third
for
party,
them.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And haven't heard back. So I just have to go with what we can find out there on the interwebs at this point. Talking about the Indian Challenger Elite in particular, that was one that they unveiled. They had the cover on, took it off, and talked about it. They're only making 325 of those bikes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so limited number. Only 225 of those are going to be in the U.S. The other 100 are worldwide. So that's a pretty low production bike.
38.5
Yeah.
MSRP.
If you're looking for something that's limited run and a pretty cool paint scheme, it might be up your alley.
Yeah.
And that bike comes with the power band audio. So power band audio is coming on the Elite models. It's optional or an add-on, I should say. You can replace the stuff on your other models equipped with speakers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And essentially it's upgraded audio amplifier and speakers, twice the wattage of the stock stuff. And you can also get underglow. So neon, I don't know if it's neon, but there's lighting underneath the
LED
speakers.
lighting.
LED lighting. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So a premium audio package, basically.
That's another thing that was rolled out for 2024 for India.
I'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
See how it compares, stacks up to the Harley stuff. Yeah, Indian, you probably need to get your bike in front of large Harley audiences. Just mention that again.
So the stock, if you will, the non-Elite bikes come with 50-watt speakers. These are 100 watts. It's got a tune, so a flash, they call bass tune, and that creates, they claim, 50% more bass through those speakers. A 9-band equalizer, pre-tuned settings, meaning it's probably got settings to like rock, country,
Right.
opera, or whatever.
Pre-EQ settings, yeah.
Yeah, it integrates with your ride command, and as I mentioned, the underglow speaker lighting. So that's in a nutshell. The big release is the 100% FTR. There's the Challenger Elite with the new paint and the power band audio. But in my research, it looks like there's some rumors.
IMR.
In my own research. Nobody else knows what you're saying. I mean, come on now.
IMR in my research. LOL.
Lol. You're just getting me off track and
Sorry,
enjoying
dude.
yourself.
I'm sorry.
At this point, you're doing it for your own simple entertainment.
And the audiences.
Yeah. So
Sorry, go move on.
So we gave not just Indian, Harley in particular, and Indian, we gave them a lot of crap several years ago for using old school marketing techniques, using actors and, sending free bikes to people that then spray paint them and do all kinds of weird shit, and not getting them in the hands of influencers who people go to, who they, know, like and trust, and whose opinion's going to mean a lot more than some, rich Hollywood actor.
Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm. And Harley was ahead of Indian in doing this. And so Indian's catching up. It seems like this release, and now we can kind of wrap in that all right there, is they did a release about a month ago in Costa Mesa, California. They invited some YouTube channels. From what I could find, 2 or 3 pretty small channels, but definitely Indian-centric channels. And it seems like the Indians following Harley's lead a little bit and using more influencers and having actual physical events. A lot of time it was just online stuff. So now they're doing some physical, albeit pretty small scale. They only released, showed 2 bikes. And would you put fit and finish, saddlebag fit and finish? Just make a note there so I don't forget. So they did that, but there are also rumors of some potentially some more leaks throughout the year, not leaks, releases throughout the year. So this may not be everything
Okay.
for Indian yet. There's rumors of more elite models potentially. And again, I don't have any, firsthand knowledge of this. This is just my research, listening to other people in the space and what they're saying. But potential, there's rumors of other elite models being released, and then Jack Daniels editions. So I didn't personally know that Indian has done Jack Daniels editions in the past.
Okay.
So it's something that it'll be a limit. I imagine it'll be a limited number, and it's going to be a unique paint color. And when you look at them, they're definitely separate paint colors and everything from the other bikes. So there's some more stuff I think that we could potentially look at. But with all that said, we would love to attend the event. So Indian, if you're listening, we'd love to come and take a look at these new releases and do a review and put some stuff out and get our hands on it. Because the more we can get these Indians in our hands, the more we can be educated about Indians and share what we know.
Yep. Well said. And I've said it, and I've been hard on Harley in the past too. They're really doing a good job within the last several years of marketing and getting in front of audiences like this, the very large, Hardy audiences and stuff like that. You got to be there. Hardy's also been good about getting in front of other markets. And that's something Indian, I'm just going to, their marketing team, we have contacts. Obviously, they sent me this bike, but I'm one to always speak honestly, and I'll always do that, regardless of whether I get sent bikes or not. And I think their marketing could definitely. Here's the problem that I see for Indian. They're a quarter of the company as far as motorcycles. Obviously,
Size-wise.
Polaris owns them, and they've got a whole nother power sports divisions and stuff. But I'm just talking about Indian motorcycles. So what I see, and this is not talking, I haven't looked, Lurch did all the research on this, but he educated me. I'm not talking bad about, I don't know who all went, and I don't know the channels, but they're small. And obviously Indian channels are smaller anyways, just because, for every, 100, Hardys you see on the road, you see an Indian. So my suggestion to their marketing is you can't stay in that safe space. You need to be in the safe space, so don't leave it. And what I mean by safe space is you're getting our channels that you already have Indian people. They already like Indian. They are there because they like, you're selling to people that already are going to buy them. And you need to do that to keep that audience. But you're talking about small channels, and you're talking about people that are already susceptible to already purchasing your product. And you need to throw some money at that. But where Indian, I feel like it's either they're a little bit of afraid, and I can't say that completely because they sent me an Indian Pursuit and I've had it for 3 months. Props to them, because you're putting an Indian, and I like Indians. I love their motorcycles. I like all motorcycles. They all have pros, they all have cons. And I'm not, like I've told you guys, I'm not afraid to say that. And so it's smart, and it's more smart for Indian marketing to put a Pursuit in my hands rather than any of the Indian channels. The reason is you want to compete against Harley. We know that. Indians competing against Harley, they're the big boy in this particular space. And you want to convert people from a long-standing, Harley owner to Indian. If you have any chance of doing that, you have to take risks, and you have to be willing. If you believe in your product, you have to put it in the hands of guys like me, because I am going to give it a fair review, and it's going to go out to a large demographic of Harley owners, and it might change a few minds. That's not my intent. My intent is to review it and let the viewer decide what bike's best for them. I don't try to push anybody either way. But that's where I feel like Indian is really failing in that area of marketing. But props for sending me the bike. They seem to be, their third-party marketing company seems to be getting more open to realizing that that's what they need to do. You can't just be afraid and stay in your little safe space, because you're never going to grow. You're going to continue to sell Indians to Indian owners. That's all you're going to do. And again, no disrespect. I don't even know. I didn't watch the event. I didn't do any research on this. Lurch did all this. But it sounded like primarily small channels, Indian only, for the most part. And that's not the best way to go. So Indian marketing, I would definitely realize that you should probably, start bringing channels and bringing guys like me or guys that are ever similar channels, and continue to send bikes out to guys like us to broaden your demographic, because you're kind of pigeonholing yourself just a little bit. So that's, I don't know. Do you have anything to say on that?
You said it really well. If you're going to, bring in a bigger audience and bring in new people, you got to be willing to go outside your small sphere. And it appears from the outside that right now they're focusing on, Indian centric channels. And, there's room for improvement there. We were hard on Harley in the past, and they've
I was way harder on Harley, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, very hard. And so, I hopefully that Indian continues to move that direction, and hopefully we can get some more in our hands. I really enjoyed working with their marketing team, and gotten to know some of them, and it's been great. And I just hope that can continue into 2024, and we can get some different. But I just think it's great because, number one, I want to learn more about them. And the more I learn about them, I do the reviews in my style. And I'm excited to put that information out. I'm excited to put Harley information out, and Indian, and any other company that wants to get their bikes, obviously in front of our company. The more we can learn, the more we can relay to you guys. And so you can be overall more educated and make a better decision on which bike is going to be best for you. So looking at this 2024 lineup, the one, and everybody's going to find beauty in different bikes or whatnot. The Challenger Elite is an awesome bike. I'm a Shark Nose guy anyways, and I think that's a cool bike. And just being a Road Glide guy for a while and a Shark Nose guy, it is fun to watch the King of the Baggers, because it didn't take them long to figure out that fixed fairing was better for racing. Mm-hmm. And so now that's spurred a whole new interest in the Shark Nose fairings out there. So I like to see that. But with that said, I like that Indian Springfield Dark Horse. Yeah, I really do. That's a cool looking bike.
Yeah, it is.
So I say that to say this, in your communications with the company that works with Indian, if you can get one of those to review, I would like to get my hands on that one.
Yeah, remind me of that.
Yeah.
And do we got to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got to take it up. Did you want to do anything about Saddlebike Fit?
Yeah. Actually, yes. Thank you. I
didn't know about
that.
time.
Yeah. No. So another thing they mentioned in that product release is some of the fit and finish stuff they were working on, and I know that it was a pain point for us. The saddlebag lids did not close very easily.
We said that in our review, didn't we?
Yeah. And so they had a pursuit in that release that they were talking about, and they showed they did some retooling to those lids.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
So it's I think it's parasites mostly in the hinge itself. The bag doesn't open up all the way. It opens up far enough to get stuff in, but it used to really flop over. And so it doesn't open up all the way down. It seems much more robust, and there's a lot less flimsiness to it, the system.
Well done, Indian.
He opened it and he just flipped it closed, and it latched, so it appears that they made some changes in that.
First thing to innovation is realizing that you didn't make it perfect, and they definitely had a flaw there, but they're willing to step up to the plate and try to re-engineer it. So good on them.
And again, we haven't put our hands on one. I just watched the video, but it opened and closed seemingly much easier than the older.
But it seems they're aware of the problem if they're trying.
It definitely seemed
whether it's better or not, we don't know. But
right. The flimsiness and the floppiness and all that didn't appear to be there. It seemed to open and close much easier.
Nice, guys. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Lurch has got to get out of here. He's on a time crunch. We want to thank the following people. We love our patron members. We want to get to know you better. We want you to, be in the private Facebook group and all that. But hey, if the only way you want to donate us through a flat donation, we want to thank the following people, and just also understand a lot of these donations that we're mentioning, it's not just a flat donation. It was a donation at the time of purchase from our store. They can leave a tip. And so we're mentioning those people too. Go for it, Lurch.
We'd like to thank Joseph Burnett of Warner Robins, Georgia, Michael Workman of West Columbia, South Carolina, and Layla King of Mechanicsville, Pennsylvania.
John Giglio of Auburndale, Massachusetts, Israel Geronimo of Oceanside, California, Jason Despain, also I know he's a patron member, of Crestview, Florida, also a patron. Oh, it says it there. I didn't read ahead. And he left us a message. He says, just to help keep things going, I know things can be tight. Yeah, that's very true, Jason. Thank you. He's a truck driver. I take care of my elderly mother, but you can't stop living. You have to keep doing things that make you happy, even when times get tough. Absolutely well said. Amazing patron member, and also leaving a donation. If you just want to leave a flat donation, lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank,
so we can keep this thing running on down the road.
And we appreciate all those tips that you guys are leaving when you purchase from the store. It's amazing to me and humbling that you're purchasing from our store in the first place to support us because you want to see us continue to move forward and help the biker community, but then you're willing to actually leave a tip at time of purchase. Amazing. You will be hard-pressed to find communities that big and that loyal anywhere. It's just amazing to me that you guys are doing that. And don't think it doesn't go unnoticed. That's why we're trying to mention all of you and just give a shout out here on the platform. That's how much it means to us. So thank you very much. Thanks for doing the research, Lurch.
You betcha.
Hopefully I didn't screw with you too much.
Not just enough.
It was good to see you running the ship. I kind of like that, dude. It's kind of nice to just...
yeah,
and I learned a lot. You basically got me up to speed on this because I was not up to speed on the Indian model. So, yeah.
I would say you're much more prepared or fluent or whatever on hosting the podcast. I like to just sit over here and give my little bits of wisdom. So I see from your side, it is a little more of a challenge to actually steer the ship and keep it going.
Keep it going, yeah.
Especially when you got a squirrel like you on the other side.
Yeah. I don't help as a co-host.
No.
Although I've had a lot of co-hosts.
Oh, sure.
Popeye.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's hard to keep, and Cowboy, get those two going, which is all fun.
Yeah.
But, so you're definitely a co-host that tends to go with the mold a little bit more. But yeah, you get two squirrels on here. Try running the board and soundboard and commercials and Anyways, appreciate you. We're a little late.
It's all right.
I didn't realize. Then I looked at the clock. I'm like, so you must have a little bit of a window.
I always do.
All right, that's good. Don't forget, guys, Christmas shopping, a really easy way to support us. Go over to lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon. That's lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon. Bookmark it and just call it Help Lab. Anytime you click that link from here on out, anything you purchase, we get a small commission, no additional cost to you. It doesn't even matter what you purchase. lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon. Bookmark it, name it Help Lab. Anytime you go to Amazon, click through that first. And again, we get that commission. It definitely helps support us. Peace. We're out.